Hello, it's Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime. I'm Madeleine Swan. This is my husband Bill.
Hello again.
You sound like a lounge singer.
Hello again.
That's very creepy, dear. And together we form the Bildie, a terrifying creature. I'm going to tell Bill...
That's the noise it makes.
Yes, that's the Bildie sound. That's its cry from
It's
one
not-
head to another.
Yeah, it's not just a weird muck wave going off in the distance
No.
every time you say it.
And I'm going to tell my husband Bill a story. So if you could think of a character.
Okay. Has to be human or
Not necessarily.
no? I mean, they've been human so far, haven't they?
I think for this one, human might be important, but maybe not for a different one.
Yeah, but I think we stick to human because
Well, we'll see.
yeah, okay.
Might not.
I will call. It's going to be he,
Mm.
and it's going to be called Jedediah.
Jedediah.
Yes.
Like Jedediah Springfield.
Yes.
Okay. So in the future,
Nice.
Alexia's, we can't say the name as it's supposed to, because
Yeah.
otherwise she goes off on one.
Yeah.
They've been taken over by a new company called Babs,
Right.
and they pretty much do the same thing. Like, you ask it questions and things like that. But
And so what you say Babs, and then it goes.
yes, you say Babs, and it says yes. What would you like to know, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But now it's in your head, like just in your head.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So you might see someone strutting down the street, and they might have like Tyra Banks in their head going, work it, or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or you might see like someone looking all aggressive and running and looking like they're about to save a bunch of kittens from a building, and it could be that they've got, like, I don't know, Denzel Washington or
Yeah.
Bruce Willis in
yeah.
their head or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Or you might see someone walking along going, Babs, what's the weather like today?
yes, or it could
and
be
it'll
that.
be if you're
Yeah.
walking along in the rain,
Yeah.
and you'll be go, thank you, Babs.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
Once
And
she tells him that it's raining.
yeah, and they'll just stop, like if they're buying a ticket at the cinema or something.
Yeah.
They'll take the money and then they'll go, Babs, how much is to see like a certain film at a different cinema or something? So this person who decided to suddenly change their name halfway through their life,
Jedediah. He changed his name.
he then decided against changing his name.
But did he change it first quickly and then change it back again?
No, he thought about it,
Right, so
but he stayed with Jedediah.
Yes. Yeah.
He
Babs might have suggested changing his name.
yeah, and then he realised, and then Babs changed his mind.
You don't
back
know
again.
me.
Yeah. So anyway, Babs
Yeah.
has been set to Pranny, and he hasn't realised. He's taken it out of the box, put it
Right.
in his head, like stuck it in his head, like a Cronenberg film.
Yeah.
And
There's a Pranny setting on these things.
it's a Pranny, yes, exactly.
Why would they build in a Pranny setting? Maybe it's for. Is it for Prannies? So if you're a Pranny, said it's a Pranny setting.
I think if you're already a Pranny, you might not need a Pranny setting. However, it could amplify it.
Yeah.
And
okay.
there's also a possibility that people might do it as a joke. Like maybe
Oh
they'll
yeah.
temporarily be a Pranny, and then for a prank video on YouTube maybe they'll say,
Yeah.
I set myself to Pranny for a day. Or,
Yeah. So it's
something
sounding
that.
like this thing's got quite a lot of control over the person that
Yeah.
it inhabits.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just like.
So you
Alexia.
lose all like free will, and you have to do
so
what this thing
sounds-
does.
Yeah, okay. And these sell like hotcakes, do they? Everyone's buying one.
Yeah, because Pranny is only one setting. There's like millions of other settings.
Right. Like hunk.
You don't. Yeah, you
So
don't just
like-
buy Pranny.
Yeah.
It's just there, lurking
Yeah.
like a bad cheese.
Yeah.
So anyway, accidentally it's set to Pranny, and
Oh,
next thing he
no.
knows is like he's trying to buy a cake from the local tea shop, and she's putting the cake on the plate, and then he just like smacks it out of her hand.
Yeah.
And then he goes out onto the street, and then he sticks his leg out, and a kid like trips over and hurts their knee.
Oh no! So he's basically just going around being a pranny.
Yeah, it's just a complete and utter pranny, and he can't do anything
What
about
What does he do? I suppose if you're in pranny mode, how do you get it out of your head and change it?
Well, exactly.
Because you're a pranny.
You have to go to the company. That's the one.
But you wouldn't even think of that being a pranny, would you?
No, but it's you retain your thoughts, and if it seems like a reasonable thing to do, then if you try really, really hard, you could possibly get it to the forefront of your brain.
Yeah.
Long enough to press a button in your pocket that
Pranny reprieve.
That organises Pranny reprieve, and also other kind of breakdowns. Like you'll just see people walking down the street, and they'll just suddenly stop or glitch out or something like that.
Yeah. This is like a low rent Black Mirror.
Yeah. It's been a low rent Black Mirror. It's brilliant. It's the best story you've ever heard. So he presses Pranny reprieve in his pocket.
Yeah. And
the men in there's a bloke in a sedan chair being carried by 4 other blokes, and he's oiled up.
Right.
And that they stop in front of him.
Right.
This is Pranny reprieve, right?
Yeah. So he's been reprieved of his prannydom.
Well, he's about to be. He's
about to be.
They are Pranny reprieving him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
These are the people that have arrived who are Pranny reprieve.
Okay, yeah.
So they pick him up and they put him in the sedan chair with the oiled up bloke, who keeps him calm and still, whilst the other men carry the sedan chair back off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they pull his head off.
They pull his head off. That's how they.
Yeah.
That's how they unpranny him.
Yes.
And then remove it and put his head back on, or just kill him?
No, they just pull it off.
And is he dead? Or in this world, do you live without a head?
Well, they can order another one, because you do all that before you get a babs, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So before you get a babs, they say, okay, can we get your substitute head in first? Yeah,
we'll get a copy of you
biometric scan of your head.
Yeah. We'll have another one if you remade. In case.
That's a weird business model.
Do you think it's sustainable?
I think I'm surprised it's got to where it has. I'm surprised it's as popular.
Well, it's taken over everything.
Yeah. Well, that was very good.
Yes, you seem incredulous at such a company doing so well.
Incredulous.
Yeah. Like in disbelief.
Yes, I am. I am in disbelief. Yeah, it's especially from how you've described their products.
Yeah.
And the sort of bad things that might happen.
It's amazing that they aren't more popular.
No. Quite the opposite.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. Well, I've had this story sort of floating in my brain, but we'll see where it's going to go because I'm not sure how it's going to work. But it's going to be a scary story, but quite subtle.
Okay.
So you might not.
I'll be the judge of that.
Might not seem that's that scary.
Yeah.
But it was told to me by a friend of mine who worked as a cared for people.
Yeah.
And he got a call. He's like a private, so he does private work. He doesn't work for the NHS or anything like that. He's private. And so he gets a call saying, "We need you to look after my husband. He's a bit sort of he's not quite right.
Yeah.
And we need you to look after him. I'm off to the theatre."
That's very caring.
Well, you know, she's looking after him all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and
you want a night out with at the theatre,
Yeah,
don't
you're
you?
going to need a break from that sort of.
It was just
thing.
maybe the tone. Like, well, I'm off.
Yeah, I'm off to the theatre. Yeah, maybe I got the tone wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he turns up at the address, and it's this big kind of rickety sort of house, but quite a grand house.
Yeah.
And he knocks on the door. This big knocker.
Mm.
Bang, bang. And the door creaks open.
Is it Boris Karloff?
It's not Boris Karloff. The door creaks open, and there's a as the lightning goes off.
Yeah.
And the woman says, "Oh, come in, come through." And he notices that all over the walls are posters of Bill Hicks. Yeah.
Okay.
He thinks this is odd.
Yeah.
She said, "I'll come through to the dining room," and he goes in. There's grand candelabras and a huge fireplace, very gothic looking.
Yeah.
And she says, "If you would like to take a seat, I just want to tell you what you've got to do tonight to look after him. It's fine, but he's been driven mad by a terrible incident that happened years ago with our daughter." And what happened was he had taken the daughter. She was a big fan of Bill Hicks, and he'd taken she was 18.
Yeah.
And she'd taken her to go and see Bill Hicks as an 18th birthday.
Yeah.
And she always had this doll as well that she used to carry. That they called Susie. Typical button eyes.
Yeah.
A bit like that animation.
Which
that
one?
you like. And I like Tim Burton.
Oh, Coraline.
Coraline,
No,
yeah.
that's not Tim Burton.
Oh, no.
That was a Neil Gaiman book.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Leica did it.
Right, oh yeah. Okay, well, not Tim Burton. Coraline.
Okay. Yeah.
And so she says, and they went, and the daughter laughed so hard that her head fell off. A bit like your person.
I inspired you.
You inspired me.
Yeah.
She laughed so hard at this Bill Hicks thing that her head fell off. I think it was like the back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Yeah, where he talks
popped
about
her head off.
JFK. Yeah.
So he was like, right, I see. So it sort of makes sense. They started to think of all these Bill Hicks posters on the walls everywhere, And she says, but.
So, someone's head's fallen off.
No, years ago the daughter died.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Her head just fell off. Yeah.
Her head fell off. That's how she died because she laughed so hard that her head literally popped off. Really.
Popped off.
She
okay. Did it get stuck in the ceiling?
Yes, actually it did. And if you look in Albert Hall,
yes,
you can still see
a face.
Well, no, it's more the neck. It went up head first.
Yeah.
So you see like a stump.
Head first. Yeah.
Yeah, head first. Yeah, and so she says, "I'm off now. He's upstairs.
Yeah.
You need to sit with him, and you need to, keep him company. He should be fine. It can be difficult, So she goes, and it's really scary in there. Gothic. So he goes upstairs. He knocks on the door, and he says, "Come in." And he walks in, and there's the old man there, and he's like, "Hello," and it's like, "I'm here to look after you." And he says, "Oh, get me a drink. I want blackcurrant with cream." Yeah, and he's like, "Okay, blackcurrant with cream."
It's eccentric.
And he's very eccentric.
Yeah. Buckets of cream.
Give me blackcurrant, a bucket of cream. And soaked in, yes, exactly, and slather it in margarine, butter, and just as he's leaving, he notices he is stroking a little doll,
right,
which is he says, this is before you go, this is Sophie, and that's the doll that the daughter had
Right.
when she passed away. And he's struggling. This man's obviously. Why are you laughing? This is a scary story. Right?
Sorry.
This
I'm
is a
really
scary
scared.
story.
I'm terrified. I'm
He's
nervous
holding
laughing.
the doll
I'm nervous.
of his dead daughter. and he comes back with the black currant and cream. And as he walks in, he's got his hand on the doll, and he turns the head towards him. And the little arm of the doll goes back into the left. Back into the left, like that. And he absolutely freaks out. Yeah?
Okay.
And he freaks out and runs outside, flees, and a load of ravens chase him. I said it was subtle.
It's very so. It's like an Edgar Allan Poe or
And
something.
then he gets home and I was there when he got home, and that's when he told me the story.
Oh, that was lovely. Okay. Okay, so that was Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.